Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about how to profile your MonoTouch apps. To do this, I'm going to be using Instruments. Instruments is a free tool that's distributed by Apple whenever you install the iOS SDK. To launch Instruments, go to Xcode, go to the Xcode menu, choose Open Developer Tools, and then click on Instruments. Once Instruments launches, you're provided with a couple different options. It's asking which profiler template you want to use. Today I'm going to use the Time Profiler. Whenever I profile, I like to choose the oldest device that I'm going to support. Today I'm using an iPhone 3GS. I'll click on the Time Profiler, click Choose, and then the template's going to load. Once it loads, you'll need to attach Instruments to a process. You can have Instruments launch the app for you, or if your app's already running on your device, you can tie directly in. And that's what I'm going to do today. If I choose Attach Process, I'm going to choose Google Music since that's my app I'm profiling. And then I'll click Record. As soon as I click Record, you'll notice that there's a graph and it starts showing changes, and this is the app. I just unlocked it. You can see how it moved a little bit. And the app is now running. Google Music is sitting at the login screen. And I'm going to press Go, and when I do, you'll notice that it starts logging into the servers. When it logs into the servers, it checks to see if there's new data. So I'm going to let this run, and then we're going to fast forward a lot. So the first thing you want to do is go to File, Resymblicate Document. You're going to want to make sure that Instruments knows how to figure out what the namespace and all the calls are for your app. So in this case, you're going to want to find whatever you named your exe. Mine was Google Music, and it did find it. If it hadn't found it, you'll click on Path and then add the path for the DSYM file. This path is most likely going to be your bin folder. It sits right next to your .app file. I'm then going to click Symblicate. It will then go through and symblicate this file. Alright, let's jump right into it. You'll notice that my main thread is using 30% of the processing power, and that my secondary thread is using 60%. If I navigate down through my thread, we can go through and find out what the problem is. You'll notice as I expand out, you can see what calls are taking the most CPU. So I'm just going to keep browsing down until I find a change, and now I have. You'll see how inside my Google Music API Get More Songs class that there are a couple different calls are taking more CPU. This first one is where I'm parsing my JSON and turning it into objects. The second one is inserting it into the database, and the third is where I'm manipulating the parsed data. And that one's taking a little bit long for what it's doing. So if I expand it out, I can see that there's some calls in there that are using more of the CPU than I would like. If I click this arrow, it will zoom in and show me just that method. And in here I'll see that 30% of this call is being taken by my MB Progress HUD, and 32% is also being taken by updating my song progress. So all of this delay is being caused by me updating the UI. And I believe it's because I'm doing it too often. So let's go to this call and check. If I come in here, I can see where those calls are being made. Right here I am making those calls, so I'm just going to comment them out, and then we'll rerun this and see what it does. Using a little movie magic, my profiling's already done. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to select the parts I want. Now this time you'll notice the UI thread's only using 4.3% instead of 30%. That's because I'm not updating the UI as much. By doing that, it's freed up more processing power for this background thread, so it's going to happen a lot faster. And that thread's not updating the UI, so it also doesn't have to do as much. So if I keep browsing through, found this get songs method, get more songs. Now if we look at it, now 56% is being used by the JSON parsing, and 32% has been being used by the SQLite insert all. And only 7% is being used by parse songs. It's really shaved off a lot of time. When I ran the test completely, it actually cut the time in half it took to run this process. Now that I cut this process in half, I'm happier and so are my users. I really encourage you to use these tools and to search through and run your code, run your app, and and see what's taking a while and see if there's anything that you can do to quickly improve your performance. I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck.